just stared at it, having no clue where to even start? Yeah, we've all been there. In this explainer, we're going to tackle that very first crucial step in any data project: how to take raw data and make it usable. Let's dive in.
So you've got this mountain of raw information. It's the key ingredient for your entire project. But how do you get it from being just a file on your computer into your Python code in a way you can actually work with? Well, that's exactly the problem we're going to solve today.
You see, raw data is kind of like a language that your program doesn't understand. It just sees a jumble of text and numbers. It has no idea what's an age or a city, so we need a translator, right? A tool that can bring some order to that chaos so we can start asking questions. And that's where Pandas comes in. It's this incredible Python library built specifically for this job. Honestly, if you're going to work with data in Python, Pandas is your absolute best friend. It's pretty much the foundation for everything else you'll do. So what does Pandas actually do? Well, it takes all that messy, raw information and neatly organizes it into a clean, structured table that's super easy to work with. It's the bridge that gets us from just having data to being able to analyze it. To get started, you'll pretty much always see this line of code. Import Pandas tells Python, hey, go get that toolkit for me. And the as PD part, that just gives it a short, standard nickname. It's a community thing, and trust me, it saves a ton of typing. Okay, so once you have Pandas, it organizes your data into one of two main structures, something called a series or something called a data frame. Getting the difference between these two is really the key to understanding how Pandas thinks about data. And you know what? The difference is really simple. A series is just a single column of data. Think of it like a list of names or a list of temperatures. But a data frame? That's the whole table. It's got multiple columns and all the rows. The best way to think about it is like a spreadsheet, but a super-powered one that lives right inside your code. And 99% of the time, you'll be working with data frames. And here's what that looks like in its simplest form. See, we've got columns, here they're labeled A and B, and we've got rows, which are indexed starting from 0. This clean, organized grid is what makes working with our data so easy. Okay, theory is great, but to really see this in action, we need some data. And for that, we're going to use a data set that's so famous, it's basically the hello world for anybody learning machine learning or data science. It's called the Iris dataset. The Iris dataset is a classic for a reason. It's simple. It contains a bunch of measurements, things like sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width for 150 different iris flowers. And these flowers belong to 3 different species. It's small, it's clean, and it's just perfect for getting our feet wet. And I'm not kidding about its importance. It's often said in the data science world that understanding the Iris dataset is almost a rite of passage. It's that common starting point that pretty much connects everyone who's learning about data. All right, enough talk. Let's actually put all this theory into practice. We're going to load the Iris dataset and create our very first data frame in just 4 simple steps. First up, we need to import the load iris function. It actually comes from another essential data science library called Scikit-learn. Think of this function as a little helper that knows exactly where to find and how to get the dataset for us. Next, we just run that function. We call load_iris function, and we store whatever it gives back in a variable, let's call it data. And just like that, all the information about our 150 flowers is now sitting inside that one variable. And now for the magic step. This is where Pandas comes back in. We take the raw measurements from our data variable, and we use our little PD nickname to create a data frame. With this one line, we transform that raw data into that powerful structured grid we talked about. We'll store it in a new variable, df. So now that our data is in this beautiful data frame, we can actually start interacting with it. We can ask it questions. Let's start with a really simple one. By typing df.shape, we're basically asking our data frame, hey, what are your dimensions? How many rows and columns do you have? And look at that, it talks back. We get the answer, 154. This tells us we have 150 rows, which makes sense, 1 for each flower, and 4 columns, 1 for each measurement. In just a few lines of code, we went from some abstract data source to a perfectly structured data set that's ready for analysis. How cool is that? So we did it. We successfully turned a mountain of raw numbers into an organized table that we can actually explore. This right here is the foundation of all data analysis. The next step is to start asking more interesting questions. Now that our data is finally ready to talk, what secrets do you think it might be holding?